Hey everybody. Oh my goodness, now where are we? Hey everybody. Hi everybody. It's us. We are the panels or the host of Girl Talk. We're so happy to be here. You know, we tried round 2. I think this is like round 3. Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now? Can everybody hear us? So this is round 3. We've tried several times to get this off the ground, launched. Yes. Okay, good. All right, you guys. It's going to live on Twitch today. And it's who knows where it's going to live in the future. So it we thought it was going to be a YouTube only deal, but it looks like it's going to be Twitch for the meantime, and then we'll bring it over to YouTube. So welcome everybody. What's that? Welcome.
She has muted.
Huh? Hello everybody. Welcome to Girl Talk. I am one of your hosts. I am Annie Talks. Today is a very special day. We're launching Girl Talk. It's the first. Oh, I gotta fix something real quick. It's the first of its kind, first of its episodes. Here, let me fix this one more time. Here, I'll bring in so that we have all of Rosaline or all of Alexa in. Yay, there we go. Okay. Okay, brand new podcast called Girl Talk. The premise of Girl Talk is really just talking about the matters of the heart for us women and those who identify as women. And sometimes we just don't always have the platform to be able to do that in a gaming, platform. So a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about, especially starting with today, is again matters of the heart, that matters of the heart according to women, or to women and for women. So today is the International Women's Day. We're honoring those that have impacted or influenced our lives, those women who have in fact impacted and influenced our lives. In the near future, we're going to be talking about things like health and beauty, weight loss and eating, recipes, even crafting, even spirituality. So things that you guys want to hear, we do want to hear from you. So be sure and let us know. You can let any one of us know that you're interested in, or what you're interested in learning about. Thank you. Oh, thank you, DJ. Thanks for the subscription there. Or sub there. Okay, y'all, here's what we need to do. We're going to quickly introduce our panels, or our panelists, our co-hosts. And then we're going to do what we call a icebreaker. So I have what this deck of cards. It's brought to us by Poddex, and we're going to pick from this deck of cards. If nobody knows what questions are going to be asked, it's what we call an icebreaker. So we're going to do that in just a little bit, just after the introductions. Okay. So I'm going to have one of these lovely women pick a card, but in the meantime, we're going to start first with the introductions. So without further ado, let's get going. I want to introduce my very, very first ever co-host. I shouldn't say co-host. She's my first female co-host. My wing woman, who she and I started way back on Twitch Sings, and she'll tell you all about that. But she's pretty much in every single gaming stream that we ever have here on Twitch. Live streaming and on Discord. I don't know what life would be like without her, because she's so awesome. She's made some really cool things for me and my family, and I just love her to death. So everybody, please welcome, aka Wifey Loves Nerd, Taly.
Thank you.
Taly,
I'm told by the person next to me, that my husband over here, that I'm echoing.
You're echoey?
Yeah, can you guys hear it echoing at all? How does it sound?
I don't know how to fix that.
I am echoing? Okay. Well, oh well. I'm going to be an echo.
How about now? Is it echoing more?
Is it echoing more?
I feel like I just kind of made it so that it's echoing more. Oh no. Okay, more. Okay, how about now?
It's the same.
How about there? Oh.
Hi Bye says I have an echo as well.
Okay, it's probably one of
us.
us.
Hi Bye.
Maybe one of us has the stream open. Let me go check it out. But in the meantime, go ahead, Wifey. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, how we met, maybe, and then go.
Basically, so I never heard of Twitch before. A long time ago. Didn't know anything about Discord. My husband was the one who used to do it more for gaming, and I, kind of would watch, but I didn't really, wasn't really interested. And then I started noticing that it wasn't just for gaming; that there was other things there, and that's how I discovered Twitch Sings and met Annie and was like, oh my god, I have to sing with this woman. She has an amazing voice, and then a friendship, came from that, and ever since then, it's just been amazing with her community. And we've met so many amazing, amazing people, including Alexa, with our other podcasts as well. But just, just by learning how to use Discord and learning how to use Twitch, and, I just have met so many people. It's been amazing. And yes, I do like to game, but I'm not really a gamer. I mean, I kind of am, but not really. I am more a crafter, DIY. I like to sew. I like to do anything that has to do with crafting and just getting my hands on stuff. So I am also a baker. I was just baking this whole weekend some cake pops and getting stuff ready for a cousin's quince all the way in Puerto Rico. So it's something that I do also on the side. I am a mom. I am a stay-at-home mom, so that's another thing. I'm usually home. But I love to, have my nights where we get to talk and get to, have fun with games and hang out with the community and hang out with everybody. So, but yeah, that's pretty much me.
Yay! Well, thank you and welcome, and thank you so much for being such a tried and true, just for being, so willing to try new things with me. We've tried so many different games right together. I laugh because I was telling someone yesterday that when we first started playing Valorant, that we were literally sat in the corner and we were told just stay here.
Just stay right here.
And shoot at people. We're like, wait, what? It was kind of nice. Yeah. So yeah,
we're playing like Phasmo, where Annie was just doing just the tutorial. It was frightened and did not want to even enter the room.
It was really funny. So we've been together like two peas in a pod, and just kind of exploring everything together here on Twitch, here on Discord, and here in gaming as in general. So thank you, wifey, for being awesome. I truly appreciate it. All right, and then my next co-host, or not next, but our other co-host, and she's so awesome too, you guys. She is a communication guru, and by that I mean everything from literally, she can type. She can type copy. She can do graphics. She can do just about everything under the sun in terms of communications, and I'm telling you, she's freaking awesome. I met her here also on Twitch. I think it was through Twitch Sings, or on Twitch Sings as well. And then grew friendship. We collaborated, her and her husband, DJ B, and I have collaborated. We've done a few music streams together. And you guys, she's so awesome. And she's the true professional. And one of these days, if it's not Valorant, then we're gonna definitely get her in a game where we can play all of us. Yeah, we have this. We have a channel called Girl Squad, for crying out loud. We need to really just utilize that and just do, have all girls play. So, anyways, without further ado, you guys, please welcome my other co-host. She's awesome. She goes by the name of Rizzaline B, as you guys know her on Twitch, but she's also known as Alexa, and I get her mistaken for my Echo Dot. So Alexa!
Hi everybody. Thanks for that intro. Annie's so nice.
Of course. No.
We met IRL one time.
Yes.
So hopefully it'll be more than we'll meet again in person in the future, and for Taly, for wifey too. I mean, we gotta get over to the other side of the country.
Let's hope TwitchCon is what I'm praying and hoping.
Oh yeah. So I think she'll be coming here first, and then yeah. So if all goes well, yeah.
And then our podcast can actually be in person, our mixed talk one, and our girl talk at the same time.
Making plans already.
That's right.
What else about me? Yeah, so I work in marketing and communications. Not so much of a gamer either, but I've been playing a butt ton of Lost Ark. So I just reached level 50 like last night.
No.
And I was
Wow.
playing some like earlier today because I'm solo here today.
You're so
I
addicted.
don't yeah, I don't know why. That's it's probably not I don't know. But yeah, I mean, and I have a Switch, like I was playing like Animal Crossing and stuff. I mean, I'm into like true crime.
Nice.
I'm always trying to experiment on like cooking Filipino food.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I think that's it for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and thank you
Yeah.
so much also for agreeing to be on the Girl Talk show. It's going to take me a
Yeah.
few minutes to say nothing but these. I either want to say Annie Talks or Mixed Talk, and now Girl Talk. Yeah, if you haven't already figured it out, we like to talk, or at least I like to talk. So if you haven't already figured that out, y'all need to go climb out of that rock you live under. No, I'm just kidding. I'm good. All right, we do have an icebreaker question, so I'm going to leave it to one of you two, so you guys can do rock paper scissors. So the idea is we have this deck called Pod Deck, and then we're going to pick either a selection from the front, middle, or back, and we're going to answer the question when no one has seen the question yet. So we're going to answer it truthfully, or as truthfully as possible. So which one of you two lovely women? Oh, should I introduce myself?
Yes, what about you?
Oh my God. Okay. We'll do that. Okay, let's do the introduction really quick. So my name is Annie Talks, or Annie Talk Show. I do have a talk show called Annie Talks. I'm also we also created a brand new, actually not brand new, but we just met our 1 year anniversary for the podcast called Mixed Talk, and it also includes these lovely women, Rosaline or Alexa and Taly, as well as DJ B, who is Alexa's husband. And then our really good friend Johnny Freakin' Rico. So it's a panel of 5, and that panel we talk about, or that panel podcast we talk about all things nostalgic and things that matter or that are relevant to today. And that one is a ton of fun because we just had our recent episode was on retro toys. So, we talked about toys that we grew up with, either playing or learning or wanting or envying others with to that end. And then our very, very first episode, which, like I said, we just met our 1 year anniversary, was on an episode called Mixed Talk, which happens to be those songs or music or genres of music that we listened to while we were growing up as well. So that was a lot of fun. And every month that we meet, it is a monthly podcast. Every month that we meet, it's always a lot of fun to be able to kind of sit and brainstorm and just really bounce off ideas off of one another, and which I really love. That's one of my favorite things, is when we do the planning, and we talk a lot about all the things that, what could we talk about, and then, what can we bring to the table, and how is that? Oh snap, that's loud.
Oh, I didn't know I was going to do that.
Oh my God. Oh, don't do a shout out anymore, please. No more shout outs. That was so loud. Again, everything that happened on the YouTube channel, you guys, I tried to bring it over here on the Twitch channel, and it didn't translate. So I apologize for that loud shout out. I'm so sorry. It's a trial and error. Like I said, we are trying very desperately to bring it over to a newer platform. It didn't work. We just we have to do more testing. Trial and error. We'll figure it out. Next episode, we should be at least somewhat, on the right road to success there. So, okay. Which one of you guys, I know, don't do any more shout outs, please.
Well, I didn't know it would do that. I forgot it had a
Oh
clip.
my goodness. No, I didn't. I honestly didn't think it was going to do that. That was so
Yeah, I didn't
loud.
either.
Let's, hold on. Let me fix that, because I can't have that going on right now. So, let's do this. So you guys, if we get another shout out, we're gonna have to figure it out. I know it wasn't that loud for you. Okay, was it loud for you? Anybody else, or was
I
it
didn't
just
hear
me?
it loud on my end anyway.
Okay, all right. Which one of you two would like to pick the podcast or the pod deck question?
Wifey, you want to pick?
Sure.
Front, middle, or end?
Let's do front.
Front. Okay. The very front? All
Yes.
right. Here's the question of the night, y'all. This is the icebreaker question. Oh, just for me? Okay. It was noisy for me. What's the worst pickup line you've ever heard or dished out?
Oh man.
Ooh, gosh.
I think it was like, how did it go? It was like something like, did you fall from heaven because you're like an angel or something like that? Or did it hurt? Did it hurt?
Yeah.
And you're like, what? What hurt? When you fell from heaven because you're so pretty, or you're such an angel, or you look like an angel. I don't know, something like that. That's like the worst. Like, really?
That is hilarious. That's super funny. Did you? So it was something asked of you, right? Do you have one
like,
asked of?
But that's what wifey said to somebody.
No, not me.
Oh my gosh, hilarious! And did you roll your eyes like, oh my god?
Yeah. They're like, did it hurt? And I was like, what? Like, what hurt? Like, looking at myself, like, did I hurt myself? Am I bleeding?
Oh, am I bleeding?
Terrible.
Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. All right, Alexa, what about you?
Oh gosh, I don't know if like a pickup line has been used on me, but I do remember that like someone wanted to like meet up, and like he wanted to meet up at like a donut place.
At a donut place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She like guess she really liked donuts. It's not DJB, so sorry.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no pickup line, but it was the premise of donuts. Which was,
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I like donuts, but
Yeah.
not to meet up with someone.
Hilarious. Okay, well, let's see. What do I don't know if I have. Well, okay. No, I don't want to use this one. I feel like, oh no, this is going to incriminate me. If I could rearrange the alphabet, I'd put you and I together. Tell Rancher.
That's another one. Are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see.
Oh my
Say
goodness.
it again. I didn't hear it.
Are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my goodness. That's so funny. Wait, do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk by again? Your husband has some really good ones there.
You never use those on me.
No. All right, let's see. I don't think I've had one. I just, I get the ones that say like, they don't ask. They don't do pickup lines, but I get one of these. I go, I don't suppose you'd want to go out with like, somebody like, like me, like, no, you're right. I don't suppose either. so I don't think it's necessarily a pickup line. It's just, I don't know. I don't think I've ever really been asked out. Isn't that sad? I've never really been asked out. How sad is that? In the last even 6 years, I've never really been asked out. Or the last, I was married for 19 years, and then after that, the last 6 years, never been asked out. So I don't know. Oh, I did have one guy. I think the music is really loud. I did have one guy say while we were so I met this person on a dating app, and I went and met him, and while we were on the date, he had said, I don't know if this counts as a pickup line, but he had said, so at what point do we call each other boyfriend, girlfriend? And I'm like, what? We just freaked out. Yeah. Yeah. Hello?
Not right now. That's the answer.
Right? Hello?
Probably not ever.
Not ever. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the weirdest.
Audacity.
Yeah. It was the weirdest. Like, I didn't know how to respond to that. I thought, wow, you're quite bold. Yeah. you're really bold. So anyways, okay, well, again, I want to say thank you to everybody for putting up with us while we work through this little technical issue. Some people were messaging and saying, "Wait, are you streaming anymore?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're trying to get there." So we apologize. Hopefully we'll get it all figured out by the time we start our second podcast, or by the time of our second podcast. In the meantime, we really truly appreciate all of you coming over here to Twitch and keeping us company here. So again, thank you for your patience. All right. So, like we said earlier, the premise of Girl Talk is to have basically a platform for us, like-minded, women and those who identify as women, a platform to talk about issues, like I said, that are matters of the heart. We thought, as we were brainstorming, what better way to be able to launch our very first Girl Talk episode than to honor and commemorate the upcoming International Women's Day, which is this Tuesday, March 8th. So it was a perfect time to be able to segue that in. And we thought this would be great to be able to, honor women, those women who have impacted us in such a way that we want to be able to recognize them. And some stories that we have, and I know that it sounds like we may have some of those even watching today, some of those that we are honoring today. So let's talk a little bit about women's history, or no, rather history of International Women's Day. Now, so it started like way back in 1908. I'm not going to read verbatim, but I will just kind of tell you guys a little bit of history. So, during the Great Unrest and critical debate that was occurring there was a great unrest and critical debate that was occurring amongst women. Women's oppression and inequality was spurring women to become more vocal and active in campaigning for change. Then in 1908, 15,000 women marched through New York City demanding shorter hours, better pay, and voting rights. So, and then there's a whole chronology in 1909, we've, in accordance with, by the way, this is according to internationalwomensday.com. So if anybody would like to see the history about that, you can read that on internationalwomensday.com. 1909, I'm just going to quickly skim through some of these. The first National Women's Day, or NWD, was observed across the United States on February 28th. And it goes on to do 1910, 1911, and so on and so forth. So, so we're joining like-minded women who feel the need to be able to kind of advance or raise awareness of International Women's Day, in that there's so many women here that we feel have made that paved the way. They're trailblazers that have paved the way for all of us women to be able to, come forward, have a voice, speak our minds, get the jobs that we want, have equality in all things, equality in the workforce, equality in human rights and things like that, voting, all things across the board. And that's why we are celebrating today, International Women's Day. Let's see.
It's crazy that it's, I was going to say it's like 100 years ago.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, like a little over. Now it's 2022. But when you're saying, well, you said what was it? Equal pay,
voting, right?
Some of the same stuff as today.
Shorter hours, right? Women's job. I feel like women's jobs overall were, well, I'm not going to speak to. I'm not going to get political, but women's job is never done, right? Both on the workforce and in home, or if you're a stay-at-home mom or work from home mom. I feel like we're constant. We're like 24/7. And I think to that end, we're never really, we're not ever really punching in and out, because we can't take a break, right, from life. It is what it is. Whether we have, whether you're a single mom in you're head of household, or if you're living a single life, no children, you are still head of your household. You're still doing, still bringing, you're still carrying forward the legacies of women who have who have made you who you are today. So I think for me, one of the questions I wanted, or one of the things I wanted to do for each of us, is to have to bring us some questions that you feel that International Women's Day has throughout the podcast. If you have any questions about International Women's Day, I'd love for you guys to be able to bring that forward and ask that of one another. A lot of what I wanted to do today especially is to recognize some of those women who in our lives, in our past years, decades and whatnot, childhood, or even recently, or memories that we may have of some women that have had some influence in our lives. And I'd love for you guys to be able to share some of your stories. So why don't we, if no one has any other questions or has anything to add to International Women's Day and the history of that, we can go forward. Anything else that you guys wanted to add to International Women's Day? I mean, I honestly, personally, have never heard of International Women's Day until maybe a few years ago, when the movement was becoming stronger, especially during the Me Too movement and whatnot. Yeah. And there was a lot of backlash with inequality with women's in the workforce and things of that nature. So I really didn't hear a lot about it until very, very recently. Is there anything else that you guys can add to it, or maybe something that you maybe heard recently in the news that we could bring to light?
Yeah. Also, the chat saying that me and Wifey's audio is doubling.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not sure why that's happening.
Okay, no worries.
I want to say it's in somebody's, unless there's a stream somewhere and somebody's listening to it somewhere else on, maybe, I don't know. If you guys, does anybody have a stream open? Mm-hmm. No? Okay. I don't know why it's doubling.
Okay, yeah.
Like I have the Twitch stream, but I have it muted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not really sure either why it's doubling. I apologize, you guys. Is it unbearable? If it's unbearable, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do. Just we've done a sound check. We've done pretty much everything.
Yeah. No worries. I mean, I know. I think I'd say for me too, Annie, that like Women's Day and everything that's kind of been more recent.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know for my job right now, we're planning like a one-day conference next week. There's a lot of like other organizations and things that are choosing to do events in this time of the year to coincide with Women's History Month, which is March, and then International Women's Day, which is March 8th.
Okay.
And then I was also doing research because I know that in December there's usually like a Women's March.
Mm-hmm.
But that's from what it says on Wikipedia. That's into some kind of hot controversial topics, but it's a march for abortion. So there's lots of different kinds of events and causes and things that are like especially towards women.
Right.
So it's interesting to just to be aware of it and I don't know. Like it's just interesting to to mention it. Like I was on a stream earlier. They were playing maybe they were playing like that like I'm Every Woman song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's like oh yeah, like Happy International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Like, it's just it's a nice thing to do. And I messaged all my friend groups and my family like, hey, it's Women's History Month. Like
Yeah.
shout out to all women. So.
Shout out to all those women, especially like some of our elders, right, who have come before us and also who have not only paved the way but really made huge impacts in our lives, right? I mean, from coming over, immigrating from their homelands, coming here to the United States and creating homes for all of us. I don't think I would ever be anywhere without my ancestors, my grandparents, my grandmother, holding down the fort while Grandpa went to work and brought home the bacon, basically. So I mean, I only know so much about my grandmother that I I don't know a whole lot. What's that?
What was her name?
Uh,
You know?
Quaresma, I think was her name.
love it.
Maming or Maming. Mamerta Quaresma was my grandmother.
Love
On my
I
dad's
love
side.
names.
The whole
We're
Filipino names.
fancy.
So Mamerta Quaresma Nadal was her name, and then on my mom's side was, I don't know.
That's okay.
I don't know. It's oh yeah. I'm a little embarrassed. I don't know what my maternal grandmother's name was. So I only knew her as grandma Lola. There you go. She was also born and raised and lived her whole entire life in the Philippines. So I didn't ever really get to see her until one time when she came here to visit the United States. So that's neither here nor there. But yeah. So what I'd like to do is take some time, and you guys take as long as you want for each one of your ladies that you're going to bring forward and tell your stories about those women that have been influential in your lives. So let's go with Alexa.
Okay. Were you gonna like show the slides kind of thing?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna give that. So why don't you
Okay.
talk a little bit more about who you're gonna be presenting today?
So when we were planning for this episode, we decided to talk about like women that have impacted us. And it could be anybody. Like I chose my mom and my grandma, and I know for me like it's pretty like in my family it's pretty matriarchal. Like my mom's side, I remember my great grandma. Her name is Utikvia, and then she had a son who's my grandpa, and then there's my mom. But there's a bunch of they have a lot of my mom had a lot of aunts. There's a lot of women in the family, and she had a lot of aunts, and my mom had a lot of cousins who were women. So I have a lot of aunts, and it's just a lot of girls. So yeah, that's a picture of my mom. Her name is Anna Maria. So she was a social worker for a city and county, San Francisco. And she had passed away recently in 2020. So she back long time ago when I was a kid, she had breast cancer. And then she got through that and was in remission. And then in 2019, she was diagnosed with leukemia. So I think it's kind of somehow like the chemotherapy and things. Like there was some kind of thing that happened. I don't know. But yeah, that's me. So then that picture, it's like take your daughter to work day, which so the Women's Day kind of thing. I remember going to that kind of event a couple of times. And they had activities for like the kids and then like moms and stuff. So that's like I just have that exposure to like working in an office and like having a cubicle and a desk and like coworkers. Like my mom always talks about her coworkers. So it's always interesting to me, like talk to my family about my own coworkers. And then the other picture that's showing up is my grandma, and that's my dad's mom, and her name is Rosalinda. So that's where I get the name Rosaline from. So she's my dad's mom. Her name is Rosalinda. My mom's mom, her name is Socorro, which I believe means help. My mom's mom like passed away when she was little. And my mom was raised by a bunch of her aunts. So it's, again like there's a lot of it's very women, very matriarchal. But Rosalinda, my grandma, she passed away in 2012, so like 10 years ago. And she raised 5 boys. Her son, her husband died after she had her fifth son, and she just like she was just about raising them kids, and then she moved here to the states from the Philippines, and she raised my brothers and I. So what's interesting too is like my mom, she didn't really have a mom growing up, so then my grandma comes in, and like they just bond. They were able to bond. I mean, I know that like I read a lot of stories of like monster in-laws, like some like mother-in-law. People have like kind of some tough dynamics, but like from what I saw with my mom and her mother-in-law, my dad's mom, like they had a really like close relationship, and they were both like really uh just like they banded together to raise my brothers, and because my dad was in the Navy and he was deployed a lot. Um, so yeah, I mean they're I mean they're both my angels now, and it's really interesting to just be an adult and to be like newly married and like navigating everything, and like just kind of thinking of how it was for my mom, or like imagining how it was for my grandma, and like even the relationship I have with like my mother-in-law, and just how to like deal with all of that. And like what I love about my mom and my grandma, like when they both passed, it's like every like there was just so much love and kindness. Like these are the kind of people, these are the kind of women that like everyone's cool with. You know, sometimes like you know people that are kind of like drama, and like they start stuff.
Mhm.
And my mom and my grandma were not like that. Like they were friends to everybody, and everybody had nice things to say about them, and like um it's definitely a loss, but it's also like it's really cool that it's a it's a legacy
Mm-hmm.
too. Because I mean, like yeah, I mean it was like the anniversary of my mom's death was just last month, so it's interesting to just see like my mom's sister, my aunt, and that's like a piece of my mom, and I know that like I'm a piece of my mom to my family. And it's cool to just like have these pictures and these videos, and like to remember people
Mm-hmm.
way. Yeah, and they're just like super strong, super badass women, and I hope that I can kind of be like them in some way.
What would your family think? What would your mom and your grandma think if they knew that they were being honored today or talked about today? Would they be like, "Oh no, all shy. No, don't talk about me," you know?
No, I think they like it. I remember like before my mom passed, like I'd show her DJB's live streams on my phone. I'm like, look, he's streaming on Twitch things right now. So like kind of under like I think no, they like it. They like they like that creativity and that expression.
Mm-hmm. They
Um
think he's a star, huh? A rock star.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how they'd be able to sign on to Twitch or YouTube.
Yeah. That's funny.
But
That's half the reason why we wanted to make it on YouTube, is that it was a little easier to view because everybody had a YouTube channel, or at least a way to access that, right? So Twitch is a little bit more involved, but it's all good. So we can always just export this out and everybody can watch. So and then you have a third person you wanted to
yeah.
okay, let's bring it.
Uh, so the third person I chose is not my family. Uh, and it's someone that got me. I like to say that got me through my like last semester of college.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Selena Quintanilla Perez. She's a Mexican American singer. She passed away really young.
Mm-hmm.
This was like in the
Mm.
early 90s, and like and I mean I'd heard about it a little bit because I was a kid back then. But like I remember it was like towards the end of the semester, and I was walking in the library, and there was a book, and it's the book that her husband wrote,
Mm-hmm.
Chris Perez,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called like To Selena with Love. And I read it, and it's just his perspective on his like his relationship with her and everything. But she is an icon. They had a there's the J-Lo movie with her. They had the
Mm-hmm.
Netflix series with her. Um, I'm Filipino. I'm not Latina or anything, but um, I was like listening to her music at the end of the semester. Like my roommates and I were all like jamming out to Selena. Um, her her birthday is close to mine, so we're like similar astrological signs. I mean, I don't like follow that like super hardcore, but I thought it was interesting. Um yeah, I just like she did a lot for like her culture and like for music and just style and she's just a good person all around.
Mm-hmm.
um I don't know, I mean, like, you guys, if you're familiar with Selena, you guys can like chime in more, but yeah.
One of her favorite songs that you like or can
My
relate to?
favorite
Mm-hmm.
my favorite is Como la Flor,
Mm.
and I have a tattoo of roses on my leg, and it's kind of because of that, and it's also like it's two roses, so it's like my mom and my grandma. I don't know.
Oh,
That's, I mean, that's I don't know. I just felt like having a tattoo of roses. But if anyone asked me, that's what I'll say.
that's what
But
I said.
yeah, I think she's a really cool person, and it's interesting how she's gotten she's being recognized again now.
Mm-hmm.
She could get a little bit sussy because like it's all the family, and they have their own like record label and everything, so they're kind of like, I mean, if we want to like get into some like sussy stuff, it's like they're essentially like profiting off of somebody who's passed away, and
Oh,
it's like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's that part of the story. I mean, and her family was kind of really, they made her sing from a young age. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's all she did.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's just, and it was so it's interesting seeing that portrayed in like the Netflix show. But yeah, I mean, that's those are my people, and I
Awesome.
like
Mhm.
them a lot.
Well, you know, when how impactful was it, or do you remember where you were when you heard when Selena passed, when she was killed? How what was that
Oh,
like for you? How what
when did
was
she
went
pass
through your
away?
mind?
I mean, I was pretty young. So
Mm-hmm.
she died in so she was born April 16, 1971. She died March 31st, 1995. So I would have been like turning 3. So I don't really remember, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like I think later on, like I've seen like the movie, and like they have that scene, and then like it's like I don't want to watch the end of the scene. It's kind of like Titanic,
Yeah.
you know? You're like,
Mhm.
I don't just watch the first Titanic is just watch the first tape. Like you
Yeah.
don't want to get into that part.
Yeah.
So it is heartbreaking though. It's so
Yes.
sad. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
just there's a lot of young people whose lives were cut short, and it's like it's so sad.
Yeah.
But it's cool that like that they're being recognized now. Like there's Selena has had like 2 Mac makeup releases, and I've gotten stuff from both,
Oh,
and
nice. Mm-hmm.
there's all the t-shirts and
Mm-hmm.
like the
Mhm.
music and all the covers and the
Yep.
remixes.
Mm-hmm.
um, and again, I mean, it's profiting off of somebody who's already passed.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, it just depends on how you look at it, and like hopefully trying to be
like
Mhm.
keeping her alive too in the same
Yeah.
sense, you know.
Yeah. It's one thing to keep her legacy alive and keep her memory alive, but to profit. I don't know. If some people have like ill intentions, or maybe they
Hmm.
think that they're not ill intentions, and they're just going about it the wrong way. So, but I love that you have that that you have brought her to here to the platform to honor her. I think she is a trailblazer for a lot of women, right? In imagine being a little girl like yourself when you first started following her, listening to her music, and then just knowing that somebody that looked like you, that had the same color skin, same color
Mhm.
hair, same,
Mhm.
and that celebrated uh, just her figure, because she was a very, everybody knows she was a
Hmm.
very curvy, voluptuous
Mhm.
woman, and it wasn't the cookie cutter model, the thin
Right.
um, paper thin model uh, image that we were so accustomed to learning about, or growing up to knowing that would be considered normal. So she had, and she was such a go-getter, right? I mean, just watching,
Yeah.
I didn't know her before, honestly, before she passed. I maybe had heard some of her music on the radio, on mainstream, but it wasn't until she passed. Sadly, it wasn't until she passed that I've actually you know learned about her. And then watching the movie where Jennifer Lopez played her, really kind of it was a very impactful. It was very
Hmm.
um, a very true portrayal, I thought, of.
And it launched J-Lo's career.
Yeah,
It did.
yeah, very much so. And it just
Hmm.
really showed just the artistry behind Selena, which
Yeah.
Selena, which is it?
Yeah.
Selena.
Yeah. Yeah.
It launched, or it showed or displayed her artistry, which I thought was really just lovely and unique. So she wasn't just a pretty face singing, just songs. She was really truly involved and immersed in her craft. So, which I
Mhm.
truly loved. And again, it was another. It was a great. As I mentioned, it was something that you know people,
Hmm.
young girls and people can of color can really look up to as a role model. And that's she's, besides your matriarch, the family, your mother and your grandmother that you spoke about. I think everybody that you spoke about had that international flavor, in terms of like, this is why we're honoring these women, is because it's not just, yes, we are here in the United States, and yes, we are I was born and raised here in California, in the United States, but we also have our international ties, our heritage, our lineage,
Yeah.
right? But it's not to say that we couldn't honor anybody outside of our own heritage or outside of our own lineage that had an impact. So I'm glad that you brought Selena up. I feel like she's like I said, she reached international, beyond international waters, I think. So she was
Yeah.
just a great person to be able to really kind of look up to, be a role model to.
Hmm.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Anything else that you wanted to add to that, wifey, or do you have any questions? Do you have
I actually did.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No.
I actually did listen to her a little bit before she passed, only because I used to hang out with some cousins
Nice.
that used to listen to her, and we actually had, I believe, was a cassette tape of hers, and we used to play it, and I remember I used to be like, what is this music? Like, I've never heard this music, and her music at the time too was more Mexican style music, and I'm Puerto Rican, so we don't really listen to that type of music. So listening to that type of music, was kind of new to me. Um, and then because they liked it, you kind of like it too because they like it, and so I started listening to the songs and learning the songs, just to sing along with them and whatnot, and I gotta say, the day that it did happen, when she passed away and it was all on the news, my cousins were bawling.
Mm.
Mm.
They were bawling, and it didn't hit me as much as it hit them because I had just started to listen to her music.
Yeah.
Um, but to hear how everything happened,
Right? It's
and to
crazy.
know that, like, man, what would she have been like today? Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, what would her songs have been like today? And she had just done like the whole like English crossover and all that stuff. So,
Mhm.
imagine how she would have been like now, and so that it did kind of like impacted me a little bit, but at the same time, like, mainly more to see my cousins and stuff like upset and stuff like over someone who
Mm.
they really looked up to and who someone they listened to, and that to me was just really sad.
Yeah.
Were they like older cousins or
I think one of them is maybe about a year or two older, and the other one's maybe like 4 years older. So
Mm.
yeah, and I think it was the older one who probably brought it around to the younger sister, and they started listening to it, and then I would come over, and it was kind of like an after school type thing where I
Mhm.
used to come to their house almost every single day. So then all of a sudden they started listening to this music, and I was like, what is this,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're like, oh my god, you gotta listen to it, the songs are so good, and this and that. And so I even remember like trying to learn it like fast because I wanted to be up at their speed.
Yeah.
So like I would take like the cassette tape and like pause it and write the lyrics down, and then like
Oh,
play, and then like listen, and then write it down and pause it
take
again, and like, yeah, just so that I could learn like the songs with them. So it was very sad when the
Yeah.
whole thing went down, and
yeah.
um, and till this day, I love listening to her music. I still listen
Mm-hmm.
to her music. My husband can tell you, like, sometimes I'm blasting it and singing it, and you know, but yeah,
Her
it's
music was also very popular. I keep going back to Twitch Sings, but Twitch Sings was a community of people that like-minded individuals loved music and singing and karaokeing and whatnot. And Twitch Sings had some of her music. In fact, I remember there was a few times where I think I actually even sang it with you, wifey, singing a Selena song, and then I was all, oh, I know this song, and then I got to, how they split it up between the A and the B, or part one, part two, and then I got stuck with the
the
Spanish.
Spanish.
I'm
I
going,
remember.
I don't speak Spanish.
yeah, I could not for
can
the life of
pretend.
me. I
I was
sounded.
like, let me sing this part because I want to hear how Annie's gonna sing the Spanish.
I could not. I thought, oh, and I said, oh my God, I apologize. It was the equivalent to I apologize to my pastor. I'm like, I apologize now. I might be cursing at you and I don't mean to. Because my pronunciation is horrible. It was bad. But yeah, she was, her music also carried on, her legacy carried on even on through Twitch things. So yeah, I mean, and then what's interesting to see is even young girls today, even young girls or teenage girls today who were not even alive during the time that she was around, or alive, right, or weren't even around when she was still alive. To this day are still listening to her music. So she has definitely, her music is very is it has a lot of universal attributes
It's
that
like for everybody.
right,
It could be for
it
any
is for
age, really.
everybody. And it's a lot of it's the feel good music, feel good songs, and a lot of, just like I said, it's celebrating women, because she was very beautiful and very curvy, and was celebrated her birthday, celebrated her body, and that's what I love. Sometimes I have to step out of my own comfort zone to be able to, like, look in the mirror and say, all right, okay, I accept my body. She was one of them. And then, like I said, I felt Selena had that, she definitely had that impact on women, and just
Women singers too,
women,
because
yeah,
back then most of the Mexican singers were men.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So, and she was one of the first Mexican singers as a woman to really make it to where she made it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
you watch the movie, you hear how the dad talks about how he tried to make it, and they would throw stuff at them, and they didn't want to hear that type of music and stuff like that. Yeah. And so, he, talks about how his daughter, even in interviews too, I remember, how he was just so amazed that his daughter had made it to where she had made it, even though she passed away and everything. But, they didn't think that she was going to make it to where she was. And if you watch the movie too, there are little parts where, she didn't really speak very good Spanish. She spoke mostly English, and that's why, yeah. And they were like, oh my God, but she's going to go to, this like interview, and they're gonna ask her questions in Spanish, and she's not gonna know how to speak Spanish, and they're not gonna like her, and that it happens, but because she was just such an amazing person, her personality, she was so like humble and sweet and kind to everybody, that people overlooked it. They didn't even care that she didn't have perfect Spanish or didn't speak perfectly or whatever,
right?
And her music spoke to them, so they kind of didn't even care at that point.
Awesome.
And then her doing that whole like crossover thing, that's where a lot of people were like, well, wait a minute, how did she even learn how to speak English? Because most of all her music were all in Spanish at first. But it was actually the other way around, is that she was speaking English but learning how to sing the songs in Spanish.
Oh, how funny. Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Interesting.
How she did that.
I love it. Well, awesome. I love that you honored your mother, your grandmother, and Selena. Alexa, thank you so much for that. All right. Let's see. All right. We're going to go next with Wifey. So, okay. This is on a loop as well. I'm going to go ahead and start showing it. This is on a loop, and it's going to, so take your time as you're explaining. And if it loops around, great. I'm trying to fix it, but it's okay. Neither here nor there. But tell us who you're honoring.
All right. So I am honoring my third grade teacher, actually. I don't know if she's in the chat or maybe just watching. She did say she would try and stop by, so hopefully she's around. But she was my third grade teacher in Miami when I went to school, elementary school in Miami. And it's just kind of one of those things where you meet someone, you click. I mean, Annie and I, same kind of thing. I mean, you meet someone, you just have this connection with someone. And even as a third grader, I looked up to her so much. For some reason, there was just this connection. She was someone who was super creative with her students, didn't go by the book, was more, let's take some shaving cream. And I know if she's listening, she remembers, and maybe she still does this because she is still a teacher to this day, but she would take shaving cream and come around all the desks and put shaving cream on everyone's desk, and we would spread it all out and practice our cursive writing on shaving cream, and then erase it and then continue. She would call everybody to the middle of the room, and she would bring her guitar, and she would sing songs that she'd written, or just, covers of songs. And that to me was just like, wow, like she's a musician. And I grew up with having my dad as a musician at home, so that to me, anybody who was a musician was a big deal. And a musician and someone who was crafty and creative, and just her personality, just everything around was just someone who I truly looked up to. I remember telling myself, I want to be a teacher, and I want to be just like her. And I even picked up guitar at the time and was like, I want to learn how to play guitar, just because she sang and played guitar. But she, something else that I think too that really, really impacted me was that I got really sick when I was in third grade, and I had a lot of complications with asthma as a child. And then ended up getting pneumonia and was really, really sick at a children's hospital in Miami. And she took the day, which to me was mind-blowing, that she took the day off of work to spend the day with me at the hospital.
Wow.
She brought me this little stuffed animal cow, and I'll never ever forget it. And I was like so happy that she, was there. We went to this little game room in the hospital, and she was playing games with me, and just spent the time with me. And that to me said so much, that she would take the time out to be with one of her students that was sick. And it wasn't like, okay, pneumonia. I mean, nowadays, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. But the fact that she did take her time out to go do that and stay with me was, meant a lot to me. And we did go through Hurricane Andrew at the time. I can't remember the exact year, but at the same time, while she was my teacher. And she ended up writing a song for the hurricane, and I just was completely obsessed and was like, oh my God, I have to know this song. Like, I want to learn how to play it on a guitar. I want to learn how to sing it. And of course, being impatient, because of course I couldn't learn it right away. But I was like, can you record it for me? Like, please record it for me on a cassette tape. And she was like, okay, fine, and next day came to school and brought me the tape, and I was super excited, and like even showing my friends, like, haha, I got her tape, like,
Oh my
she did it for me, like that kind of thing. But went home, and oh my gosh, my parents, they could tell you I repeated that tape over and over and over. And I would grab my dad's guitar and I would sit down on a couch and I would literally just mimic her. And I wouldn't actually be singing or playing the guitar, but I would pretend as if I was her. And I would pretend that, how do you call that when you lip sync? That's lip syncing, yeah.
Right.
That's basically what I was doing. But it was just, I don't know, there was just this connection with her. And even though I did not become a teacher, I did go to university to become a teacher. I did end up, coming to reality and being like, yeah, this is not for me. But I did get to teach. I got to teach pre-K for several years. And I did implement some of the things that I remember from her, and did it with my own kids in the class. And and then years later, with the internet and Facebook and stuff, like, I just decided to try and find her. And I remembered her name, and I remember she had gotten married, so I was like, okay, I don't know if she has it under her maiden name or her married name. And so I just started searching and until I found it, and I was like, this has to be her. She had changed so much from the years. Still beautiful, still, amazing, but I wasn't sure. And so I had messaged her and said, I don't remember. I'm like, she's probably not going to remember. I mean, out of all the kids that she's had, all the kids she's taught, she's not going to remember. But immediately, I sent her a message, and she immediately knew who I was, and remembered about the hospital, remembered about the stuffed cow, everything, little details that she remembers. So I kind of feel like, if you have a connection with somebody like that, like, again, out of all the students that she taught, for her to remember me, that there's something there, you know what I mean? There's some kind of connection there. Yeah. So, and like I said, she just really inspired me. She really did since childhood. And so, and one of these days, and I've told her many times, she lives in Orlando. So I told her, I'm in Florida, and I'm not that far, maybe like 2 hours. So, one of these days we've got to meet in person, after so many years, and, take pictures and hang out. And that to me would be so cool. I know it'll happen one day.
What did she say when you told her that you were going to be talking about her and honoring her today?
She was actually really excited. I told her about it, and I just wanted to make sure, like, hey, I'm putting your pictures out there, and talking about you, hoping that's okay. And she was like, oh no, great, like, that's exciting. And so she was all for it. Mm-hmm. And when I reached out to her the first time around, like, I told her the same thing, like, hey, go to YouTube, I have that video on there, and it's of you singing. I'm lip singing, but it's your voice, and she's like, oh my God, I made it to YouTube, that's exciting. So that kind of thing. So yeah, she's amazing. She really truly is.
Do we have a video of her? I wasn't sure if we have a video of her. Do you have a video of her?
No, I don't have a video of her. What I have is a video on YouTube. If anybody wants to see it, you could just go to my YouTube name is Taly Rios, Tallyrios, and just go on the videos. And if you scroll, you'll see little me with a guitar, and you'll hear her voice, and it's just me mimicking her, and lip singing her music. She does also, I believe, write music for the parades at Disney, and I'm pretty sure it's like the what is it called? The when you go into the entrance, the main entrance, Main Street, Main
Main Street.
Street. I think it's the Main Street Parade or something like that. She does. She writes some of the music for that. So, and I know she still teaches. So yeah, she's amazing.
I think we
Did you
have
want to
that.
share her name, or if not, that's okay.
Sorry.
Oh, did you want to share her name, or if not?
Yeah,
that's
her name is Susan, and her last name is Matusi. She used to be Miss Convisor to me, or Miss Matusi to me.
Wait, I think we actually have the video. Do you want to see the video of you singing?
It doesn't matter if you
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can put a little clip. You don't have to put the whole thing.
Oh, it's cute. It's like a minute 7. Yeah, let's listen to it. Hold on, let me just turn off this music real quick.
Sure. And that song that she's about to play, that's the Hurricane Andrew song. So she saw all the disaster and all the things that had happened, and kind of wanted to write something to kind of cheer people and to kind of bring people together to, you know, help with everything that had, you know, gone on with the hurricane.
Okay, I think we have it. Hold on, let me just get it ready for you guys. It's really cute. Okay, here we go. Tell me know if you guys can hear it.
Oh my god.
Little me, 3rd grade.
How cute.
You're killing it. This is great.
Are you playing the guitar?
No, I'm faking it.
You're faking
I'm faking
it.
the whole thing.
It's great.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I like totally think like I'm playing, I'm singing. Like, it's just so
Yes, you
funny.
are.
Look at your
You are.
face. Your face is
Into it.
perfect. It's like with swag.
I know.
Nice attitude.
The piano you say there was my dad's piano that he kind of wanted, I guess, show off in his video.
She's doing some artsy thing.
Yeah.
That's so cute. I love that. It's like okay, honest. Well, for me, like my experience in school was pretty decent. Like I liked my teachers and it was good.
Mhm.
But I've heard of people that did not have a good school experience, that have had like really crappy teachers. Like there's some people, like there's people who are teaching that should not be
Right.
with kids and like teaching in a classroom and whatnot. But it's like, but then like you, wifey, like talking about somebody who impacted you like in the classroom, like that's huge. Like um
You came.
Yeah.
You came from. Hold on. Let me stop this real quick. Now you come from a musical family. Your father is also very musical. Oh, sorry.
Right.
Your father's also musical. But do you think that maybe your 3rd grade teacher had, you know, a greater impact, or as much of as an impact, or what
You know,
what would you say?
I say that I think because she was, you know, my teacher, you know, they say school's like your second home, right? Because you spend so much time in class and you spend so much time in school. And at the time too, for 3rd grade, you didn't go to different classes like some schools do now. You know, like I stayed with her all day. She taught all the subjects. And my dad was very, you know, someone who was very musical and did impact me a lot. But you know, as a kid, when it's your parent, when it's your dad or your mom,
Yeah.
and they're like, you know, I want you to learn piano, and I want you to learn guitar, and I want you
Yeah.
to, and that kind of like nag, and you're like, nah, I don't want to, you know, I'd rather go and play, I'd
Yeah.
rather go do something else. And because it's your parents, like you do that, you know, unfortunately, then I kind of wish that I wouldn't have done that, because who knows, like, you know, I mean, yeah, I learned a little piano, and I used to sing a lot with my dad when I was little, and he would play the piano and I would sing. But I was always like, man, I was so dumb. I had the most amazing teacher right there in my living room every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be able to teach me piano and be able to teach, like, I mean, he could pick up whatever instrument truly and play. So, I could have learned who knows what, but as a kid, you kind of just ignore it and like, I don't want to play it, or, want to do something else. And I think too, I kind of thought about like, man, if I let him teach me, then I'm not going to hear the end of it. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be nagging me every day, all day to sit down and play piano. And, when you're young, that, you kind of like, I want to do other things.
Right.
But with her, I think because not just the music part, but because she was basically everything that I kind of wanted to be, like her being so creative, and me liking crafts and being creative as well. And she was very much like that. The way she, treated her students. I mean, even after I left third grade, I would come to her classroom almost every day, and say hi to her. And I think even like fifth grade too, like I still would go by her classroom and see all the little third graders and come in and say hi to her. Like, I missed her, when I left. And then unfortunately, I moved away, and now she's, further out. And so, I didn't get to see her like before. But I really think that maybe too, because she's a girl, and then, just kind of looking at it that way too, like, oh man, like she can do this and she can do that, and I want to do the same thing. And and again, I just feel like, when you just have that special connection with someone, there's not really words to explain it, I guess. Like you just kind of feel it. And yeah, I feel like, again, the fact that out of all her students, we reconnected, and we remember, and she remembers, that meant a lot to me. So, but yeah, so she's definitely someone that inspired me a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's so important to have role models, like for kids, and like especially like little girls, and like as people of color. Like I like DJ and I talk about like we want to see people that look like us on in TV shows or in movies, and like and that's happening a lot more, and like to imagine like the next generation of kids, like that's what they're used to, that like you see somebody in the classroom that looks like you, that you want to be like, that like and like especially like good examples, because there's plenty of like bad examples of people out there, but
there are. But you're right. I mean, okay, so and that's the whole premise of what the International Women's Day is about, right? It's just really, there's so many. I mean, we could be here all night. We could be talking about so many different people, so many different women that have impacted our lives, and we're hearing it now firsthand. Some of the ones that were even near and dear, close to us. Even in your own home, or even in your own classroom. It's people you see on an everyday basis. Wifey, thank you so much for sharing that. Oh, hi, Mickey. Hi, everybody. You guys, by the way, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to not acknowledge you all. Believe me, I see you guys. I see you, Voodoo. I see you, Mickey. I see you, Illusions, DJ, Wonders. I see all of you guys. We see all of you guys. I'm so sorry. We've had technical issues earlier. If you're just joining us for the first time, we part of what we were trying to do is bring this podcast onto a whole new platform. We were supposed to do a whole YouTube launch, and there was some technical issues that we still need to iron out, and I'm not really sure why it didn't iron out the way it did, but neither here nor there. So we brought it over to Twitch. So we're thankful that you guys were patient. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for constantly, just being here for all of us and supporting us in so many different ways, with your with your chatter, with your chat, and your bits and your follows. Those all mean so much to us, and we're grateful and thankful. So today's podcast, our first episode of Girl Talk. we knew there was going to be some cobwebs we had to work through. So thanks again for being patient. But our first episode is talking about International Women's Day. It's for the upcoming International Women's Day, which is happening on Tuesday, March 8th. So that is, it was purposeful, and it was intentional, and it was also, being able to at least talk about some things that, like I said, in the entire month we understand is Women's History Month. So I'm glad that there are so many more channels that are stepping up and also honoring women. Not just Women's History Month, but all of women in general. So international women, that stems across, vastly throughout the United States and globally, and so on and so forth. Because and DJ knows, I love the representation that we have here at least on Twitch, and then some, in Discord, when we have so many people from so many different regions and geographical locations join us. And not just women, but men and women. So it's super important that what we say, our voice that we have, that we use it and we utilize it to the best of our ability to be able to not only further our own needs and causes, but also to further that of our fellow brothers and sisters, our moms and dads and parents and ancestors that have gone before us, because without them, where would we be, right? So we're just taking a little small snapshot of what our lives have been like and how they've been impacted and influenced by some great people. So I'm thankful that Alexa spoke about her mother and her grandmother and Selena, and the artist Selena, and then Wifey, who spoke about her third grade teacher. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right. I think, Alexa, did you want to add anything else to Wifey's segment on her third grade teacher? Or anything that we've talked about so far?
I guess, you're saying like it's important to like to utilize our voices, and like it's also important to like use our voice to amplify other people. Like that's what we're doing right now. Like we're recognizing people who are role models to us, and like we're three women who are supporting each other. And I know too that like especially girls can get like super catty, and like people in general, like we tend to want to like compare ourselves to each other, and like, but especially girls, like there's just the pressure of like, you gotta reach this milestone and do this and be married by this age and have kids by this age, and like oh, she's like that, I don't like her, and like I don't know. That's why we take the time to like listen to each other, and we all grew up in like different parts of the country, and like in different times, different decades. So it's always just like a good reminder just to, I don't know, just to hear what's out there.
Right.
And
love it.
And it's cool that like this somehow a third grade teacher like impacted you, Wifey, and like it may not be like exactly the same and like doing things exactly the way she did, but like it's still there. Which is cool.
Did you guys see that one episode? Oh my gosh, who was it? Was it Adele? I think it was Adele's. It was something that I think it was Adele, where somebody was brought on, or she was asking about. Right? Do you remember seeing that episode?
It was a concert. I think I've seen a clip. Is it a concert? And like she was talking about a teacher.
Yes.
And then the teacher was at the concert.
The teacher was at the concert. And she showed up, and Adele was like in stitches. She was just crying and bawling. And
that's probably how I would be.
She was so grateful to her, and you could see the love that she had for her, and how much, she meant to her in the third grade teacher. The teacher came on and she was so humble and, didn't want to steal the limelight from Adele, but she was, it was such a nice exchange and the reunion, right? It was so wonderful. And right, wifey, if you saw your third grade teacher, I'm sure that's what
it's
it would be.
happen. It's gonna happen one day. We've said it. We just, we have our lives and busy stuff. And of course she's a teacher. And I know that even just teaching the little bit of teaching that I did with pre-K, teaching never ends. You don't just go home after you're done. Like you go home and you've got to grade papers and you've got to do lesson plans and you've got to prepare projects. And it's a very hectic job. And I know even just a little bit that I did. And that's why even after I went to college to become a teacher, I was like, oh no, like this is not for me.
Yeah.
I mean, good on you to know
give
that.
props. I give props. I really do to those teachers out there because it is not an easy job.
No,
and the pay, is not all there, for all the stuff that they do. They deserve so much more.
True. Very true.
But and it's really sad because that's our future. That's our kids. That's our their education. And I feel like they really do deserve more than what they get. I have friends who are teachers, too, and see the things that they go through, and I'm kind of like, well, I'm kind of glad I didn't go that route. In a sense.
Right. Yeah.
But I do give props to those who do because it is very, very
thankless
difficult job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and and that's also a thing that I feel that she has. Sorry.
Oh no, especially in the past couple of years with like teaching. And
with all the stuff that they've been through. All the changes. And I feel that, like you said too, some of these teachers unfortunately are just there for a job. It's not a passion. It's not a thing that they've wanted or that they it's kind of like, oh, I already have half the classes to become a teacher, might as well just I need a job, take another course or whatever it may be and then become a teacher, right? And I've seen that happen with my own experiences and it sucks. It's like, then why become a teacher if you don't have the actual passion for it? But she definitely did. The way that she taught and the way that she was, it's just, like I said, inspired me so much. And I'm sure many other kids, many other kids who are either are adults now or whatever, or even just kids, I'm sure that she has touched so many others with the same way. And that's, to me, amazing, that she has that passion like that not all teachers have. Awesome. So
thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it. It was a great story. I hope she was able to hear it, and I hope she was able to or if she wasn't.
She just wrote me.
Oh, very nice. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my goodness. Well, hello, what's her name?
Her name is Susan.
Hi, Susan. Miss, what is it? What's her teacher name?
Matusi.
Miss Matusi, you did well. You done well. Wait, you did well? Oh my gosh, she's going to correct me because she's a teacher. you did well. You did well.
She did. She definitely did.
All right. Okay. So I thought long and hard, maybe not so long, but I thought long and hard when it came to this question about like, who would I be honoring today? And some of you guys know that oh my gosh, I've had like many hats. I've worn many hats. I've worn many, I've been in many jobs and positions throughout my lifetime. But one of my favorite jobs, even though it was very stressful, I started off as a door host, and then I ended up being a server later. Was working at a comedy restaurant whose name will not be disclosed at this time. But it was a comedy shop, and I loved comedy. I had my ex-husband at the time, or when we were married, who was so funny and always made me laugh. Always found ways to make me laugh. So how fitting to be able to work at a comedy shop, a comedy restaurant, where I would be in the midst of all these comedians. And it was so fun to be able to watch many, many, many of them. from, I don't want to drop names, but the mainstream comics and some very, very popular comics and whatnot, all the way up to like Joe Coy and Angela Johnson and oh gosh, you name it, they were there. Norm, oh my goodness, Norm Macdonald, who recently passed, and so on and so forth. But one of my favorites, and I started watching her a long time ago, and I don't know how I ran across her, but I stumbled upon her, and I thought to myself, who is this person? Because not only was she, she played many different characters. Come to find out that these were characters, real life characters in her family. So she did portrayals of her own family in many of her skits. And one of the reasons why I loved her too was because, you guys, surprise, surprise, she is Filipino, and you don't see a lot of Filipino comedians or comics, for that matter. Rizaline and Wifey both hit it on the nail earlier in that there is so much more representation now than there ever has been. And the way that I see it, there's so much more to come. There's so much more talent and so much more artistry to still be unveiled in the near future from people that look like us, or of our own heritage, right? So the person that I want to talk about, I'm going to run this little quick slide, y'all. Her name is Christine Gambito, aka known as Happy Slip. Some of you may know her. I love her. She's so freaking amazing. Like I said, she is Filipino. She's I feel she has definitely paved the way for so many upcoming, comedians or entertainers, performers, and whatnot. I mean, I think there's the cliche, the old stigma that yes, Filipinos can sing and they play musical instruments and such, but you don't necessarily see a Filipino Filipino be as a comic, especially not a female comic. So let me tell you a little bit about Christine Gambito. Christine Gambito, I'm just going to read her little bio, y'all. Christine Gambito, also known by her screen name Happy Slip, is a Filipino-American internet personality, actress, and comedian. Her videos on YouTube have been viewed over 100 million times across the web, and she has performed her stand-up comedy across the U.S. In 2019. How I ran across her was not only did I saw her on YouTube, but I actually did some promoting for her as her publicist for a little bit. So I did some publicity and some communications and marketing for her for just a little bit. She just had her fourth child at the time, and then she was going to, jump in an RV. Her and her husband were going to sell their house, jump in an RV, and go across the United States and stop from comedy shop to comedy shop to comedy shop, and that was going to be her life for a little bit. And she was kicking off her U.S. tour in 2019, but as we all know, 2020, what happened? COVID. Right. So she literally had to put her life on pause, and which was really unfortunate for not just her but for everybody, right? In terms of being able to move on, have income, and just live life. We couldn't do that after when COVID hit. But so she one of the things, like I said, she's been creating YouTube videos since 2006. Under the name of Happy Slip. And if you know her bio, if you've heard some of her, if you heard her talk about how she even came across the name Happy Slip, it's quite funny. She does Filipino accents so well, and I think that's why she in is one of my favorites, because she says things, and she's pretty much like Joe Coy, where they kind of relate to life growing up as in a Filipino household. And
they go off what they know.
In a Filipino household, and in living, oh my gosh, I did the did we freeze? No. Okay. So living in a Filipino household, and you know, she, like I said, she plays some of her own or her family's characters so well. And you know, imagine filming, editing, clipping, doing everything. You know, she was a one woman operation, and she actually inspired me, because remember, she's been doing videos since 2006. I didn't start content creating until about 2000, maybe 15 ish, or 2000, close end of 2015, 2016, and she has a lot to do with my or influencing my ability to be able to do some content creating. So if it weren't for her, honestly, I don't know that I would have started. Because you know, you watch all these YouTube video content creators, and they tell you, you know, if you want to get started, just get started. You know, it doesn't matter what camera you have, what da da da. And she was one of them that said, you know, just get started, just do it. And I just remember in 2016, I did. I recorded my very first video on YouTube. It was all, orientation was all wrong. Instead of taking your phone and having it this way, it was this way. And I was like, oh, this is bad.
Nowadays
this
it's kind of that way. So
yeah.
That's called BBS.
Yeah, right.
Vertical video syndrome.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So she is definitely somebody, like I said, who has really paved the way. I haven't seen a lot of Filipino comedians, you know, female comics, since her, but not to say there isn't, you know, and not to say that there won't be, but you know, she's definitely somebody that she's very relatable. She touches the heartstrings, not only of the younger generation, but definitely of the older generations, you know, because with all of her comic portrayals of her family, it's kind of more accepted nowadays. Yeah. So I wanted to show you a short clip of her as well. So give me a minute while I set that up. But she's I talked to her recently, and one of the surprises I was hoping to have was to have her on this show for the first episode. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to. Because she is, you know, managing her husband's business. She's still managing her 4 young children. They're no longer on the road anymore because they had to kind of anchor in place. So I think she lives in Virginia now, but she's definitely, you know, she hasn't stopped making content. She does. I think she's very active on YouTube. No, sorry, she's very active.
You had her as a podcast guest?
Yeah, I did have her as a podcast guest.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you guys go to my YouTube channel, it's here. I'll put it here. If you go to my YouTube channel, I don't remember which episode it is. One of the episodes, you just have to go there. You just have to go there, and you have to like search, you know, Happy Slip. Annie talks to Happy, or with Happy Slip. You'll see it. So yeah, it was one of my earlier interviews with her. So okay, I'm gonna share this, you guys, real quick. Let me open this up. Well, let me turn down the music first. Hold the phone. Sorry, y'all. User error. It's been kind of one of those days today. All right, let me stop this real quick, and then I will share with you guys this video. This video is just her I think it's just her boiler video. It's just kind of an intro and gives you kind of an idea of, you know, how what she was going to be doing, you know, pre pandemic, pre COVID. And this is when she was starting to launch her her tour. So let's get this started. Oops, sorry. Whoops. Pardon the mess here. All right, transition. Here we go.
I know where that is. It's in my hometown. I think our video is frozen.
Our video? Okay.
Not the YouTube video.
Sorry. Probably is.
actually told Christine that I think I peed in my pants. I was laughing so hard.
I like all of her accents and her jokes. It's like it reminds me of like the YouTube times.
It's like she was talking about our family.
Go see Christine. See Christine for sure.
It's a great show.
Not just Filipinos. Everyone. Everyone has to come see them.
Good, clean family.
I'm all looking in that video like, do I know any of these people?
Right.
I probably do. I probably knew that one chick.
You should go follow her. It's Tapasip. Some of her stuff right now currently is kind of old, but it still has, you know, a good shelf life in that, you know, she does speak still to the younger generation in that she, you know, her stuff is still relevant. And if you follow her on TikTok, she's pretty funny too. What's that? So if you follow her on TikTok, she's quite funny. And she also is, she's also on, she also has Instagram. Like I said, she hasn't been as active, but maybe if there's a following, if y'all go follow her, we can kind of revive that, her career.
Yeah.
But you know,
Hopefully she'll be able to get back and perform and
I hope
stuff
so
again.
too. I think, you know, it's
Yeah.
just a matter of time. She's, like I said, she's definitely, she's definitely, she's really funny. She writes and creates all of her own skits. She plays every single one of her, I don't know that we can show one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's interesting is, like I remember her YouTube videos, and then if you're saying it's from like 2006, like that sounds about right. But like, thinking about it now, like that kind of format where it's like the one person that they just switch their wigs or switch their hats and their clothes, and they're doing different, like that's basic textbook for like Vine and like TikTok now, you know, like that's the kind of content that a lot of people, that's the model that like people do now. So it's cool that like she was one of the early people to do that.
For sure.
And I mean, a lot of her content is similar to Joe Coy, where like they're just like poking fun at their mom or their dad or the aunts, or like she has a character who's a cousin. And what's fun too is that like a lot of this is funny to Filipinos, but then like it's also common in other Asian or like Latino cultures too, that like they're for some reason aunts and uncles like have no filter, and they just say whatever
no filter,
just do like dumb things. But
so,
I like her too.
She's really cute. Also, she's very musically inclined. She plays the piano and I think the guitar, if I'm not mistaken, too. So she does sing. So she's multi-talented. She produces, she films and produces all of her own stuff, all of her own content. And then now, remember, she was doing a lot of this too, pre-children, pre-family, and during the time in which she was still having her family. So, you know, her kids were she had her second or maybe her third, and she was pregnant with her fourth, and she was still content creating and still editing, still doing all that, and still managing, you know, a household and a family and whatnot, and still having to find the time and the energy to be able to do that. And then why I like her so much, because, well, one, I think she's a good representation of International Women's Day, but also because she kind of she took she broke the barrier, basically, you know, for very, you know, collectivism or conservative Asian families, right? You don't want to bring quote unquote shame to your family. Oh no, why are you doing that? You know, it's always frowned upon when you do something that you take on a profession that's not typical, right? So such as a typical Asian or Filipino occupation would be like medical or doctor or nursing, especially, right? Nursing or pharmacy, pharmaceutical, or anything of that nature. But she went a totally different route, and she ended up doing comedy, or wanted to pursue comedy. And to me, I felt like she was definitely breaking the barriers and really kind of paving the way, like I said, for entertainers, for Filipino entertainers, to come forward and to prove to the world, and our own heritage, that yes, we can do things, other things than, you know, than the stereotype. And now, like you said, more and more Asians and more Filipinos are in movies and in shows and that kind of thing. So I think there's gonna be a lot more of that if we, you know, keep our nose to the, uh, what is it? Ears to the floor and nose. Wait, ears to the floor. There'll be a lot of that. So I think we'll see a lot more. I hate my stupid when I try to come up with those cliches. I'm horrible. It's like, wait, I've heard it, but I don't know what it means. So anyway, so that's like I said, I definitely think that there's room for so many more people of color to come through and show so much more talent. We know that well, I shouldn't say we know, it's a given, right? They say that Filipinos can, quote unquote, sing, but you know, like I said, but can you act? But can you
Right.
are you funny?
There's more to it.
There's definitely more to it. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be able to honor her today, and just because she is I think, to me too, because she's put her career on hold for the time being, to be able to support her husband's business, and still be able to raise her family. So that, you know, shows great strength in her priorities, and you know what is more important to her, and that is her family. So more power to her, and we're hoping that one day that she'll come out of, you know, retirement, as they say, and come back and make a big splash in the back in the comic world and comedy world, and maybe we can start to see more of her. So like I said, if we can let her know that we love her and we want her to come back, you know, when she's ready, willing, and able to, the world is waiting to see her. So yeah, that's who I wanted to bring to our
Awesome.
our
Nice.
podcast today. Yeah.
I know that like there were, because I shared like 3 people, and I know that I think we all kind of thought of at least like 2 other people. So you think you guys both had 2 other people?
Oh,
If you wanted
yeah,
to
yeah.
mention that, it's a or like real quickly, or
Well, the only other person that I was going to bring to the limelight was a young artist. Young, and I mean young because she's definitely way younger than me. But she shares the same birthday as me, and I don't have a picture of her. But maybe one of you guys can come up with a picture. But I wanted to bring the likes of Ariana Grande. I think she's so cute. She's so pretty, and she's so talented. She had been hidden behind, you know, that show Victorious for so long, and she played like a ditzy person for so long, but she can hold her own, you guys. She can
Yeah.
definitely hold her own. And is she on what voice show is she on?
was it The Voice?
Is
The
it The
Voice.
Voice? Okay.
Actual
It's the actual voice, and I've seen so many videos of her and Kelly Clarkson when they were like doing the karaoke battles and whatnot. And
They're good.
I mean, come on, y'all, come on, y'all. She's so good. Maybe I can find a
Very
picture of her.
talented.
She's super talented, and like I said, she shares the same birthday as me. Haha, no, not that that matters, but she.
I can see that. It makes sense.
Yeah. And for being, again, for people of color, or a person of color, women of color, and as young as she is, right? Man, she still has a whole life ahead of her, and to
Right.
be able to, you know, just be so musically and so talented as she is, I think, you know, definitely sets, for me, I think she definitely sets the tone for what's to come for the future.
Yeah. I know that when we were prepping for this episode, I had mentioned that like Ariana Grande has also gone through a lot of things. Like
Yeah.
there was the bombing that happened at one of her concerts, and like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's very traumatizing
Mm-hmm.
for anyone to experience. But like, but then she's able to address that situation, and like I think I would assume like to give aid to the victims, and then they had like a charity concert uh later on. I know that like the one of her boyfriends, like he had I don't he had died, and
Oh, right.
maybe me I don't remember exactly, but there was a lot of like there was a lot of things surrounding that, and like she was engaged to like to somebody else. Like there's all these things, and like she's able to handle it
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. The
pretty like
pressure and the and just
and like being real about like the mental health uh
right.
aspect to all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, and she has a makeup line right now,
Oh, she
so
does. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
it's called REM Beauty.
I love the
Stunning.
name too, Ariana. That's actually one of that's my youngest daughter's name too. So
Oh,
I
nice.
don't know that we named her after her. I think they might be around the same age, but yeah, she's definitely, named. My
Yeah.
daughter's name is Ariana. Um, what was I gonna say? So if you're just joining us, I see a few of you. Ed Maluz. Hi, Ed Maluz. Hi
That's my
again.
aunt.
Yes, hi. Hi,
Nice.
Edma. And hi, Crazy Pac-Man. If you're joining us for the first time, or just now joining us, I should say, we are the co-host of a new talk show called Girl Talk, and it's exactly what it is, what it sounds like. It is about girl talk, and it is about being able to come together. Oops, I'm sorry. Being able to come together and talk about things that matter, are matters of the heart, that are very near and dear to each of our hearts. As women, sometimes we just need that extra push, that extra platform or a forum to be able to talk about things that we couldn't otherwise talk to. And I'm not to say, hold on, I'm trying to play this music, y'all. It's not to say that we can't talk with our male counterparts. Believe me, we can, and we have, and when sometimes when we come into the streams, or when we come into Discord and we have chatter, sometimes I feel really bad because we want to talk. Some of the women that are there that gather, we want to talk about things that when we say how'd your day go, it's always important to be able to be a sounding board for each of us. And I don't always feel as though we have that ability to do so when we're playing games in a forum, in that kind of stuff. So we wanted to be able to have a forum like this, a platform like this, to be able to talk about matters of our heart. So like I said, in the future, some of the future episodes that we're going to be talking about are things like health and beauty, fashion, even spirituality, and we would love to hear from you, all of you guys, as to future topics. So don't be shy. Reach out to every single one of us. I would love to do some shout outs, but I think our shout out is not working correctly. If you do it, it's really super loud. So that's why we haven't been shouting anybody out at the moment, because it's so loud. Believe me, we started. Oh, that's the other thing. So again, I have to apologize for those of you who are just joining us, because earlier, for those of you who started with us when we first launched the podcast tonight, we were trying to bring it over to YouTube, and again, be able to have a different type of reach, to be able to have a different kind of platform, so it's not in a gaming atmosphere, so to speak. We wanted to be able to have a more intimate, more personal conversations about what our topics. And for whatever reason, YouTube wasn't working, so here we are. So eventually we'll get all the kinks worked out, and hopefully you guys can join us in our new home over on YouTube once we get everything worked out. So, but I really appreciate everybody for being here and hanging with us. Do you guys have, and I think we have a room for maybe a couple of your questions. I think we said earlier we were going to try to bring some of our questions and see.
Yeah. I know Wifey had another person.
Oh,
Also, or if you wanted to.
Yeah, I don't mind. And I won't go too long on it. It's just also a YouTube creator. And her name is Colleen Ballinger. I've actually been watching her for years now. I mean, now
Is
she
that
has a
Miranda?
toddler, and
Miranda
she
sings?
used to do Miranda's things.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
her.
With the lipstick in the
Yes,
Yeah.
with the
Oh,
lipstick, where
what
she'd
was
put it
that
all up in here.
show? Haters.
Miranda sings.
What was her?
Haters Back Off.
Haters Back Off. Yes, I
Yeah, she
loved
did that on
that
Netflix.
show.
Yeah, she did a show on Netflix.
It was so good.
I was just I don't know. I started watching her her actual channel, not her Miranda Sings. I actually saw Miranda Sings after the fact that I had started watching her channel.
Right.
And then saw the character that she had created, and then saw that she went on tour many times with that character. Tried to go so many times and just never could, but kind of watched her grow, and it was crazy because she was with another guy before she's with the guy that she's now, and went through all this stuff and the breakup, and of course I was like all sad and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then now she's with the guy, which is actually one of the guys that was in Haters Back Off, which is how she met him. And now it's with him, and she had a little boy who's now I think like 3 or 4, and now she just had twins too, so a boy and a girl. Yeah, and man, it's so inspiring because she has a busy, crazy life with her twins and her toddler, and still manages. Like she even did she was on Waitress on Broadway.
Yes, I
Okay,
remember
yeah.
that. Yes.
And she was going backstage, breastfeeding her child,
Yeah.
and would come on stage and perform, and like just that alone was amazing. And going on tour on buses and stuff, and having her kid with her. Now she has her twins, and she's still doing her YouTube. She still does Miranda. She still finds the time to do that. I mean, she does have a support system, which is great. She has her family, her mom and her sister and her husband and everything that, do help her. But it's so cool to watch that, she's like that. And what I love about her more than anything is she will talk about certain things in her YouTube videos. She will talk about breastfeeding. She'll talk about formula feeding. She'll talk about having twins, how difficult it is, the labor. I mean, all the things that a lot of women don't want to talk about, or are shameful, or they think that they're not supposed to talk about these things. They're not supposed to complain about pregnancy or whatever. And I love that about her. I love that she doesn't care about what other people think, and she wants to make sure that women shouldn't be ashamed that's a miracle that we could do that. That's I mean, we could make another human. That's amazing. And so I like that she is all for that, and she's always talking about how amazing our bodies are and the things that we can do, and who cares about how you feed your baby. Like people talk about, if you bottle feed, that's they say that you bottle feed, that you're lazy, that you just put some formula in and give it to your baby, and she's like, no, like it's actually the opposite. You got to make bottles, clean bottles, mix the formula. You got to get up it's easier to just grab a baby and just put them on, right? If you're breastfeeding. But she had her babies that were preemie when they were born, and so they've had a lot of difficulties with breastfeeding. So she talks about all that stuff and how hard it is, and she's like, I don't care how you breastfeed your baby, as long as you're feeding your baby, that's all that matters. And that's what we were made for. That's why we have boobs or whatever, because to feed our kids. You know what I mean?
That's why we have those babies.
And that's how she is. And I love that about her. I love how she's so real. She's so honest and isn't shy to talk about those things. I've seen a lot of her comments and stuff, and a lot of women are like, oh my God, thank you for talking about that, or thank you for bringing this up. Like, I thought I was the only one, or I thought I was alone in this situation, or stuff like that. So I know that for her birthday too, like every single year for her birthday, she raises funds for childhood cancer. And I mean, she has gone from like just a couple thousand to just skyrocketed amounts of money to, and I don't remember the exact amounts, but they were, every year she just it goes higher and higher and higher of the amount of money that she raises for childhood cancer. It's insane. So she just does so many amazing things. And I look forward to her videos almost every day.
Yeah.
If I'm eating dinner or whatever it is, like I'm always like, okay, it's time to watch her videos, and I look her up and follow her and watch her, and you kind of feel it's funny because she has no idea who I am, right? But like everything about them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know their family, their kids and what they've gone through, and they do share pretty much most of their life with YouTube and with everybody. So, but yeah, I really really like how she's all for empowering women and showing that those things that women do or with babies or even like I said, like her doing her acting and her doing her Haters Back Off, her doing Miranda and doing YouTube. And she was like that too. She was a one woman show for a really long time.
Yeah.
Doing the whole thing and editing and being up late at night trying to get her videos out and creating the content. And half the time she didn't have stuff at home. She would get pieces of cardboard and cut things out and paste things together and make things out of nothing basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's done so much, and I think that she should be known more. People should know who she is and watch her videos. She's truly amazing.
She's another one that I was watching back in 2015, 2016 when I first started my YouTube channel. She was another one that I just kind of Googled or did a search on how to start your YouTube channel, and she was one of the ones that first came up, and among others, right, that I follow. And her the underlying theme was just do it, just start it, get it started. And she was very very it was very motivating and so inspiring, like you said, very inspirational in that not only to be able to create content the way that she did and still have the will and the wherewithal going from place to place when she was doing her Haters Back Off up in Canada, right? And then coming back down and still after Haters went off the air, or after their second season, I think it was, and she came back down to raise her family, she still wanted to be able to create the content that she was doing, and she chronicles her life almost daily, doesn't she, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah,
almost.
She vlogs almost every day.
Yeah, and I love that she did Vlogmas, which if you don't know, Vlogmas is when they do a whole vlog during Christmas time. Yeah, and it's just so fun to be able to see her. I wish I could do it every single day. If anything, if I took anything from a page from her book, I can say this, that I'm on Discord every single day. Y'all know me. You can see me. I am on this thing every dang day. Okay, let me just say. And that's partly because, I thought, well, shoot, if I can't do YouTube videos every single day, or if I can't make, content, I can't do content creating on a daily basis or blogs. I tried it. I tried doing vlogs every single day. It's hard. It's so hard. So, I mean, I was lucky to do one video a week or one podcast a week, which I did for like 2 years.
That's
52.
a lot too.
Yeah. Christine just wrote me right now. Christine Gambito just wrote me. Said, sorry, we just came back from dinner. Anyways, sorry, we just got done with dinner with family and friends. So anyways, she wanted to be here, but she couldn't.
Wow, look at you with your slid into your DM.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I know. But as far as Colleen goes, again, she's another one of those female content creators, like I said, who had a huge impact on me and that inspired me. And like I said, you're not going to get rid of me, because every single day that I'm on Discord is because I had the motivation, I had the inspiration to do so, and that's why I'm so grateful every time people come around on Discord, even if it's just 1 or 2 or 3 of you. Hey, it means that something I'm doing right. So because it's reaching out to you. So, and that was what they were doing. That's what Christine Gambito was doing on her Happy Slip. That's what Colleen Ballinger was doing on when she's creating her content for Colleen Ballinger and for Miranda Sings and whatnot. So it's that. It's exactly that. It's to say this. I guess the underlining question or the underlining message for every single one of you guys, not just women, well, mostly women, right? Because that's what this episode is about, International Women's Day, and also honoring the history, women's history, is you guys, you women, if you have a thought, if you have the passion, if you have the motivation and inspiration to do so, go do it. Do what you want. Do what is important to you, that you have passion about. Just over the weekend, I had a guest, right? I had a guest here, and I was, I gotta go on Discord, and I did for a little bit, and he saw that how much this meant to me, and he saw how much there was an impact on the community, because there were so many of you guys in Discord last night, even for the little bit, and you guys, thank you so much for humoring him and me. So it was a lot of fun, and let me just say that this is why we do it, and this is why I do it, and this is why the women before us have done it, and will continue to do it, because we now have the platform, we now have a voice, we now have the ability to be able to speak, and speak up, speak our minds, and move and shake the world. And I think that's what International Women's Day is all about, and honoring the history of women, because we are movers and shakers. We're not just doers, we're movers and shakers. Right?
Yeah. What's cool too is like both of you guys talking about Happy Slip and Colleen. It's like they've been doing this for a while now, and you're saying like you saw them in their early stages, and then they got married and started to have kids, and like these are people that we basically like grow up with them. And it's cool that like nowadays, like there's so much more of a community. Like what's cool is like I can go on TikTok and scroll through, and there's women talking about the same things, like having kids and pregnancy and like marriage and like all the things that just have to do with life. And like I think it makes me think of like it wasn't necessarily the same thing for like our moms or our grandmas, or our aunts before, like they just I mean it's like the family community or whatever community is great too. And like we've like, because I mean throughout history there's just always some kind of network of people passing down recipes, and like this is how you could do this to your clothes or whatever. And but now it's like it's so much more expanded that we can find someone on YouTube that can talk about something that we're going through, or someone that looks like us that can like I don't know, I just think of like makeup, and how it's different for different people. And like yeah, it's really cool that like it's the community is so much bigger and so much more accessible.
It's growing. Yep.
Yeah. And just that we can reach people from far away, even though I'm just sitting here in my in my apartment.
Same.
And we're like in the other different parts of the country. So
the technology has allowed us to do so as well, and technology is not just a men-centric industry. It's women-centric as well, or women are vastly involved, and I see it all the time. I'm a part of a community called Gamers. Oh my goodness, Game Hers. Yes, Game Hers. Oh goodness, what's it called? Game Hers. Oh gosh.
Yeah. That's right.
It's a really good community in that not only do they promote gamers, right, you know, with female gamers, but there's also so much more that they promote in terms of like they have job boards when they know that there's, you know, they know that women are looking for jobs, and they'll post job boards, and so they'll post. And when I look at the job boards, you guys, not only is it, you know, the typical admin, I shouldn't say typical, but there's admin positions, there are clerical positions, but there are also really cool technical jobs in that, you know, there's communications, marketing jobs. There's also IT, you know, IT jobs, and they're expanding, and women are becoming more and more in tune to that, and they're becoming more and more, they're more and more in demand. So I think that's awesome. And the more we can be here, like Alexa says, is, you know, we're a community, and that we're not only do we have each other's backs, but we also promote one another. So that's super, you know, the community, the love in the community, or the love that we have for one another in the community, in the community of women, in the community of female gamers, female podcasters, female anything. We have, there's a community, there's a support system for every single one of us. So just know that you're not going to go through it alone, you know. And that's why I think it's super important for all of us to be able to come together. And this is one of the reasons why, like I said, we have this opportunity to be able to honor those who have come before us. Let's see, I think we're going to wrap it up pretty soon. If any one of you guys would like to maybe add a little bit more, or I think if there's a question that you might have that we haven't already discussed or asked, now's the time to bring that forward. Let's see. I think Alexa, you had a really good question. I like what you said. I like your number 2 question.
What do you love about being a woman?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Do you want to start with that question and answer your own question?
Sure.
Okay.
It's
Not to put you on the spot.
I think what's cool is that, like, there's a lot of respect that is put on women, you know, like treat them like a queen, treat them like a princess, or they're like just that, like the respect in the fact that women are the ones that bear children, and that they usually a lot of cultures, the women are the leaders of the communities, and like they're like the healers and the all these things. So that's like, to come from that, like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty badass. And like, yeah, just that like we're queens, and it's like, and it's important to remember that too, because it's like sometimes we do all these things for so many people, which is good, but it's like I've seen a lot of women that like I would want them to prioritize themselves more.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, and it's just a cultural generational thing, but it's, you know, it's like just I would have wanted to see my mom or my grandma like be able to do more things for themselves. And so it's like that's what I like carry too. It's like I do these things because maybe it's like they didn't get to exactly do that. But yeah, I don't know. Women are cool. I don't know. I mean, I just I don't have kids yet, so when we get into that, talking about that stuff, I'm gonna lean on you guys. I'm gonna lean on you guys, and we're all gonna learn together. But it's just, and also like, yeah. I mean, I think well, last thing too is just that, like, it's for me, like, connecting with people is just hard in general sometimes, but like especially with like women, and like making friends. Like my female friendships have changed a lot, and like it's impacted me, and so it's like just to try to navigate all this stuff, like girl to girl, is different. But yeah, women are cool. You guys
Women
are
are
cool.
cool. I like that. Yay. What about you, wifey? What do you like about being a woman?
What do I like about being a woman? Um, that's a hard one. I mean, Riz pretty much said, or Alexa pretty much said pretty much the same things about, how we can have babies and make children and human beings,
Yeah.
and it's crazy to know that, like, for me, right after I gave birth, I had a C-section and I was up walking and doing whatever the next day. The fact that I could go from, having a baby inside and just walking the next day, to me was,
Mm-hmm.
pretty amazing. Even though, they're like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be walking up and down. You just had a baby.
Yeah.
But to me, it was like, no, like, I'm this child's mother now. Like, this is what I'm meant for. This is, more important now. And it's crazy because you think about it, well, me anyway, like, I barely spend money on myself nowadays. It's mainly for my son, or mainly for the family, or for the house, or, but it's like things change, when you do have kids. Things do change, and it's not about you anymore, and it's solely about them.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I'm trying to think really what I like about being a woman. I mean, I like that we can be like dainty and delicate,
Delicate. Yeah.
Yeah.
and I don't know, like, I feel like, having a boy too, it's sometimes like, man, I want to be able to do like what girls, like, dress them up and do their hair, and you know be girly that way. And of course I have a boy, so it's not that way, unfortunately. So um but I think, yeah, I think it's the same thing, to be able to have kids and stuff. I think is super cool that I can do that I was able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
um I'm trying to think, is there anything else, but I can't.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
It's a hard
That's
question.
a tough question.
Right.
I think what comes to mind for me is, um, having opportunities that we probably didn't have before, with our ancestors beforehand. Like, let's say, we talked a little bit about voting. We talked a little bit about equality, work, uh, equality in the workplace, and that kind of stuff. We didn't have those kinds of opportunities way back when. Now we do. And and now that we do, we should never ever take that lightly. We should never ever take that for granted. We should
Right.
really utilize every single one of our opportunities, whether it be small or large, or whatever it may be, whether it be in a big industry or small industry or whatever. I think every single one of us women have that responsibility. Not only, well, we have that responsibility to ourselves to be able to at least to take a chance. How's that? Step out of your comfort zone. And because because women, they were told, you couldn't work here, you couldn't do things, you couldn't do that kind of stuff, you couldn't play sports, or you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, because it was
Everything the guys did,
yeah,
right?
exactly, because it was never accepted before.
Right.
But now it is. We are, and we have every opportunity. So I'm the kind of person, and I have taken so many risks. Y'all know that. I've taken, with my work and my job, and even with family and with everything, relationships. I've taken so many risks, and it's not to say that I probably won't in the near future, but now I do have an opportunity to be able to do that. So if I didn't have the opportunity, if my hands were tied, it'd be one thing. If I was, in a third world country where I couldn't do those kinds of things, it'd be a different situation. But now we have that here in America. We have that opportunity, so why not take advantage of it? So I think that for me, I'm happy to be a woman because I have the opportunities to be able to pursue, and to pursue passion, and to be able to pursue something that I think that speaks to me. So I music music was one thing. I'm not a great musician, but I love to sing, and I love to do that. I I have that opportunity to do so. So I have the opportunity to be able to create podcasts and do, content creations and that kind of stuff. Some people, some countries, they don't even want women to be, on the forefront. They don't want you to be, bring attention to your families or to your country or any of that. So I'm saying, we're not experts here. That's what I meant to say too earlier. All of you guys, or all of us, we're not here. We're not even professing to be, experts in our fields and that kind of thing, but we are experts in life. We're experts in living. We are experts in our experiences and our what we've done historically. So we can speak to what our own life experiences are, and we're always going to be lifelong learners. I think as women, we're always going to be lifelong learners, because there's always going to be challenges, and there's always going to be something that comes up that's going to push us, to the edge and to the limit. And you know what? As women, I know that because we are, I don't mean to say this in a derogatory way, but the Bible says that we are even though we are the weaker sex, quote unquote, we are also very strong in that we are we're kind of like the backbone of just about everything.
Yeah,
so
and we're taking that and bringing that into how that applies today. I mean, it's
exactly
it's still, it's that's an interesting point too, because we were taught this is the dynamic that men and women have.
right.
And in some ways there is still some of that, but it's also more so like being equal and being
Well,
partners.
a lot of women have surpassed that stuff,
Yeah.
Oh, that girls can't do construction, or girls can't, work in certain things. And now there are, lots of them out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So again, so like I said, for me, I think being, one thing about being a woman, and one thing I like about being a woman is actually having opportunities to be able to do what we couldn't do before, historically.
Yeah.
So, well, y'all, I really appreciate it. I hope you guys had fun. Again, I'm really sorry for all the technical issues. I'm glad that you guys all stuck it through with all of us. I'm gonna shout out now these I'm gonna do the shout outs right now, because I feel like, oh no, these weren't working earlier, but I'm gonna shout them out now. There's Wifey, and then here's Rosaline. Y'all go follow them. They're amazing women. Oh, see, I told you it's loud.
Chat said that it was
Okay,
loud
go
on
follow
your
them.
end in the
As they got louder and louder. Go follow them, show them your love. If you have any questions at all for any one of us, please feel free to use our links there. You can whisper them to us. If you know our Discord, you can message us in Discord. Here's my Discord in case you need it. If you'd like to give us, send us a message, send us your feedback. Things that work, things that don't work. I'm always open to feedback, constructive criticism, y'all. Nothing, I'm open to feedback. Also, let us know what you want to hear, what topics you want to hear in the near future. We do have other podcasts that we do. Have the Annie Talk Show, and then we also have this, which is our mixed talk show. So that's coming up. We have another episode coming up in the month of March. It's a monthly podcast, and it's hosted by myself, Rosaline B, who's Alexa here, Taly, also known as Wifey Loves Nerd, DJ B Remix, who is Rosaline's husband, and our one and only friend, the one and only awesome friend, Johnny freaking Rico. We have a mixed talk podcast where we talk all things nostalgic and that are relevant to today. Like I said, let us know if there's any topics that you as women would like to hear from us. We do have future podcast episodes planned. We plan to talk about spirituality. We do plan to talk about health and beauty, some weight tips, fashion, so things like that we're going to be talking about. And we feel like this is going to be a really good platform for us to be able to talk so intimately and openly. So if you're interested in in our topics, feel free to tweet at us. I didn't say that. Feel free to DM me We don't have a tweet. We don't have a Twitter yet. We're working on it.
First
We don't have a-
episode, y'all.
Yeah, we're
Working our way
yeah,
up.
Yeah, we're getting there. First episode. We're working out the kinks, y'all. And again, thank you everybody for being here, for really just kind of support or being our support system here, and for showing us basically just showing us just your love and support, and that you are here to hear what we have to talk about, because we do have a lot to talk about. And we have, and I'm happy that we're going to be able to, to have this platform to share with one another some things, some really cool. I mean, we plan to even get intimate, y'all.
Yeah.
I won't tell you why or what, but yeah. All right, let's go.
Gotta watch.
Yeah, just gotta watch. So everybody, let's go now and find somebody to raid. As we always do on Twitch. You did.
We
Okay,
did. Me
good,
and
good.
Reason both on the same person.
Wifey and I, because we're, women stay on point.
Stay
ahead.
like-minded. That's right.
Funny.
Sweet. Okay, who are we gonna
Yeah,
go
but it was
raid?
also because I was scrolling through and I was like, there's a bunch of podcasts. It's all dudes. So.
Awesome.
And then
Okay.
we found one with 3 girls.
Oh,
That's
very
good.
cool.
Something
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to put the name in there in chat, and we'll go ahead and I'll copy and paste.
And just so you guys know, they are talking about sex talk, so if you don't want to hear it, or you're good, but they are, so just so you know.
Okay, so as we always do, I know this is not, oh no, never mind. Don't copy and paste that, because I didn't subscribe to myself. Never mind. Just don't use that one. Don't use that raid call. Use this one. I know we're not on the Girl Talk one at the moment. We're on the Annie Talks Twitch.
Fine.
But use this if you don't mind, so that we can pay it forward. We always raid. So go and copy and paste that as we raid our fellow talk shows and podcasters.
The raid 2 or the raid 1?
Do the raid 2.
Okay.
The raid 1 is not working because I didn't subscribe to myself.
Okay.
Okay, so who are we gonna go raid?
It is.
Can you write
You
it
have
in
it?
chat?
Yeah, it's
Is it letting you?
Here, I can copy paste. Hold on.
Okay.
copied and pasted the raid call already.
Oops. Hold on.
Funny how copy and paste is such a like. I want to keep the thing that I have copied.
I know.
There you go.
Hello, Kev. Are you just joining us? Oh my goodness. Have you been here this whole time? Goodness gracious. Okay, what's her name? Bad Gals Official. Awesome. Okay, let's go. You guys go copy and paste the raid 2 call. Here it is again. We're gonna go raid Bad Gals Official. Sweet. Okay, let's go say hello. Bad Gals. Gals is with a Z, right? Bad Gals Official.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, it
y'all.
looks like they're getting to some adult stuff, so FYI.
So that's actually
Yes,
what
they are.
we plan to do in the very near future. We're gonna do some of that as well. Just saying.
Sneak peek.
Sneak peek. Yeah.
Preview.
There you go. All right, let's go. I think that's how we spell it. Bad Gals. Oh, it's with a Z. After I said all that, I said S. Bad Gals Official. Okay. All right. Oh no. Let me do it again. Raid Bad Gals. Oh shoot. They said without the at sign, right?
BADGALZOFF.
Bad Gals Official. All right, here we go. Let's go raid. All right. Y'all, thank you again
Let's
for
go.
joining. Appreciate it,
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody.
You're awesome.
See you again.
See you soon.